Hey everybody, welcome to Transformation Breakthrough. This is our Transformation Tuesday. Every Tuesday you'll get an interview with somebody I think is a master, a leader, a teacher, anybody who's overcome challenges in life to make themselves better or someone else better as well too. This is my very first one and I'm so lucky to have my mom here, Miss Sylvia Reed. If you don't know her, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information and then we'll be asking questions with her as well too. Isn't this great to have an interview with my mom, right? My mom, Sylvia, was born in 1947, born here in Lincoln, Nebraska. She was married in
1965
to Dennis McLean Reed, had her first son, Brian, in 1968, yes. July 3rd, the day before 4th of July. And next oldest daughter is Christina, which I call her Tina, was born in 1971.
Yes.
Had a daughter named Amy that was born in August of 1975. Unfortunately, Amy only lived 1 minute long and then passed away. Caused a lot of stress, anxiety, depression in life. But because of that, somebody named Jason, that's me, was born October 27th in 1975. They adopted me and brought me a better life that I couldn't have had without them. So I'm so lucky for that. Also adopted Laura, who's I think adopted in the early 90s, I believe, and was in an abuse home too. So all about taking care of other people, live through challenges, different things that were not easy. I can't imagine the feeling of losing your baby, and so going through that must be a tragedy of an event. Today what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you questions, tell a little bit more about your life, or some of the challenges you've had. So let's just start off. Tell us what your life was like growing up, some of the challenges you've had, some of the things you've gone through.
Well, I was raised in a very dysfunctional home. My dad was very abusive, and so there was a lot of self-esteem issues. But the good thing about that was my siblings and I are extremely close and remain extremely close because we had each other to lean on. So that was how things started out. And then when I met your dad, he was the gentlest man I had ever known, and he believed in me, and he made me feel like I could do anything. And so I did. I mean, I raised a beautiful family, started a business from scratch that went on to become very successful, and have had a wonderful life. I mean, it was rough starting out, but I wouldn't change anything because it made me who I am today, and that's a very strong, independent woman.
Very much so. Going through those challenges of what life was like back then and going through some of those made you the person you are today.
Absolutely.
So let's tell everybody, what was the business that you started? When did you start? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, it was very important for me to be a stay-at-home mom because my mom didn't have that privilege. She had to work to support us. But yet I wanted to contribute to the family. So we had some friends that had a cleaning business. And so I knocked on doors and started out with 2 little accounts. And I did once a week these 2 little accounts, and I was a stay-at-home mom that could be home after school for you kids, bake the cookies and do all that stuff, but still contribute. And then I met 2 brothers who were starting their own construction company, and I got involved with them, and I started doing new construction for them, and now they're one of the biggest builders in Lincoln.
To clarify a little real quick, you said those 2 companies, 2 places you cleaned first. What kind of cleaning was that? Was it residential, office?
No, office cleaning. I had 2 little offices. One was a financial company, and I don't even know what the other one was, but they were very small.
Give me timeline. When did that actually all start? What year?
Let's see. Probably about 78.
78,
yeah.
So for those 2 or 3 years, you were doing the office cleaning, and then you met the brothers, which is Brewster Construction.
Yes.
And new construction cleanup, right? So
yes.
Explain to us, how did that work out? How did you start? How did that level go up next?
Well, I didn't know anything about it, but these brothers, Ron and Don, assured me that we could work this through together and learn together, which we did.
This is about 1981?
81.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
And so at that time they were just very small, starting out building homes. And so after the construction people got done, I would go in and clean it so that everybody could move in. So it was a real learning experience. But we started out like with one house every 6 months, and it just grew from there.
But good quality products, people tend to buy more too.
Yes.
I know this because I did this a lot growing up, but you had not only office spaces, but the construction cleanup that was homes. What else did you do construction cleanup wise besides homes?
What first started out as homes, and then they got into demolition and rebuilding.
So commercial spaces as well too, that type of thing.
But their first big project was a candy factory down in the Haymarket, where they totally renovated the candy factory and made offices out of it, and that was our big first project. Now we have apartments all over Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas now, starting from that little company.
So kind of funny, it started where it's just a need just to help out your family,
Yes.
grew to something else. When we put our needs of other people ahead of ourselves, sometimes life begins to work its way out where you get more business, you get more money, whatever
Yes.
that is. If you put money first, tendency you generally don't get it.
Right.
But when you do that, we're trying to add value. Those of you from Lincoln, Nebraska, the Haymarket is what she's talking about. Downtown, it used to be the old Russell Stover's candy factory building, legit. They changed in the offices in 1981. Since then, now the Haymarket downtown is a totally different place. But she was in the very first beginning stages back in 1981. And this is being shot in 2019. They're still making changes there now. And it's a totally different area. So she really helped change the way downtown Lincoln looks. So it's really, really neat to do that too. And do you do that full time still now, the post-construction, or have you slowed down a little bit?
I have slowed down because they have gotten so big, and it required a lot of time and effort, and 7 days a week, a lot. I mean, that's just what it took. So I've slowed down to where now I just do smaller projects, but I'm still working. And I miss the guys. I mean, we became a family. It was a lot of fun to go to work, a lot of hard work, but we made it fun. And my family, my kids, all got to share in that fun.
That's what I was going to kind of talk about with you next. So just a little background story is 5, 6 years old, I was cleaning office buildings. And so I was born in 75. So 1980, I was going to work dumping trash, sweeping the floors. My older brother was vacuuming, dust mopping. My goal was to be able to vacuum and dust mop. Interesting goal for a 5-year-old, right? But I would go to school and people would ask me what I do every day after school. And I would tell them I go to work. They thought I was kidding. I asked them what they did. They said they watched TV and played games. And I thought they were kidding. So at a 5 or 6-year-old kindergartner, I thought life was totally different. I thought everybody worked. I thought everybody enjoyed time with their family. I was so lucky at 5 years old and up through that I built a work ethic at a very early age that I still have today. And because of working at that age, many people think, well, you shouldn't do that. Well, it made me who I am. When you go through challenges in your life, you go through things that are not easy to do, it makes you a stronger person on the inside. You're able to deal with other challenges more effectively as well too. So I'm so lucky you made me work. I also got paid, which is a really cool thing as well too at that very young age. But you learn about business, you learn about people, you learn about helping out other people first. And that's a lot of this channel is about. It's not about you, but making yourself better, making other people and putting other people's lives in front of yourselves as well too. So I know you said you slowed down the cleaning business a little bit now. And do you mind if we tell everybody how old you are? You are
72.
72 years old. So I'm going to kind of, the biggest challenge of growing up, I know we talked about some of the life was like growing up. I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit here, a little bit so people kind of understand is that my biggest challenge, which I'm assuming is your biggest challenge too, is in 2013, Dad passed away. And that was a blow to everybody. Just a little quick background knowledge, if you don't mind saying it. Severe rheumatoid arthritis, on prednisone, tons and tons of it, damaging to your body, in and out of the hospital for years and years, and just really tough to do. Until one day something, and I don't want to go through the whole story, but we basically knew that he had about 24 hours left.
Yeah.
And that was in May of 2013. And it was crushed. And we, if any of you have ever lost somebody, you understand how we feel. When you go through those challenges and those pain things, it makes you think about life a little differently. If it wouldn't have been for that, I wouldn't be doing these videos right now. I believe one of the most important things my dad ever taught was the ripple effect. The fact where you throw a rock. We were up at a lake. I was 10, 11 years old, up at Lake Leba in Fremont. Threw a rock in there, and I was talking about how some of them rippled, how my brother could bounce them, and I couldn't figure that out. And I go, oh, that's cool. Did you see how the ripple keeps going? My dad said it never stops. I was like, yeah, it does. It gets smaller. He says, not really. Everything you say, think, and do has a ripple effect on everybody else. And I didn't really get it at the time. It was just water. But really, the things we do and the way we help other people doesn't just help that person, it helps out everybody else too. And so he was the example of what I was trying to be like and to help other people out. A little background too on our religion growing up, he was one of the speakers and the elders at the church. So at a very early age, I got to see him teach other people, help other people out as well too. And when this happened, it was really crushing for us. And many marriage couples, when they have that, one passes away, the other one goes very quickly because they lose everything about themselves. And I know it wasn't easy, and it's still not easy today.
It's not.
But what were some of the things, now I'm kind of leading into this. About a year or two later, we talked about, you asked, what should I do? And I said, you should try coming to our kickboxing class. Do you mean tell a story you went to?
Go ahead.
And I was teaching kickboxing at that time. And I said, oh, you can come and try the class. And I said, you can just take it at your own pace. You don't have to go full speed, nothing. But this will make you feel less stress and make you connect to somebody. And it'll be a lot of fun too. I don't know how much you believe me on that. But
Not
she
much.
didn't believe me, but she thought, I'll do whatever Jay says. She came in there, tried a couple of the classes, and then I kept trying to talk her into doing Taekwondo. That's something I love, something I've been a part of as a kid, and I know the difference it makes in other people. And I really didn't think she would do it, but she kind of said, oh, I would do it if you had it for old people. I thought, oh, that's a pretty cool idea. So at this time, I was 39 years old. I said, okay, that's a really good idea. We'll have a class you have to be 40 years old to go to the class. And I really didn't think anybody would go to it. It was on a Friday night when we didn't have a lot of other stuff going on. And it ended up being one of the biggest classes. And we had 20s and 30-year-olds who wanted to go to that class because they wanted to be a part of that. And so she kind of started a whole group of people all the way together. So that was a pretty neat thing. So she started Taekwondo, and I said, oh, I bet you can't wait to get your black belt. And she said, no, I'm not getting my black belt. Well, I taught her stuff enough to get to the yellow belt, and then for each step, she kept continuing as well, too. And so it was a process until I think it was a little over a year ago that you got your first degree black belt.
Yes.
So at 71 years old, she became a black belt. Tell me a little bit about what got you started with it, why you liked it. Tell me about your experience about martial arts in general. Especially some people watching this have never done martial arts. Some people started when they're little kids like my kids. I started in my mid-20s, but what was that like starting out, and what are some things you experienced?
Well, it was intimidating. At my age, I didn't think I could do it, but it was a slow process, and the people in the class were so encouraging, and I love it. I mean, I just really love it. It really out of my comfort zone. I remember telling you that, okay, I'll take the class, but I won't compete, and I definitely won't test. Because I could not imagine myself doing that. That's not who I am. But I did all those things. And it's a great, great feeling of accomplishment that, if you work hard enough, that you can accomplish things you never thought you could do.
That is awesome. When you first started, what was the goals for martial arts? I mean, why did you do it? Was it just something to do, exercise, stress relief? What was it?
I think my whole life had revolved around Denny, my husband, and we did everything together. So this was something that didn't have memories with him, that I started on my own. And so it was something that it was a healing process for me, a different way. There's about a caterpillar, and it says that the caterpillar, just when she thought she was going to die, started to fly. And that's kind of how I can relate what martial arts was for me. I really felt that my life as I knew it had ended, but I couldn't see beyond what it would be like. And so I miss Denny every single day, but I have a beautiful, wonderful life, and a wonderful family in the martial arts family that has truly, truly helped me heal.
It's kind of a unique situation that you go in there thinking about yourself, all these things you'll go through, and you end up having a support system there, which is something I think unique to our schools and our organization, Tiger Rock, is that other people there, you're there for each other. You're there to do your own thing, and nobody is judgmental of you. It's all about you doing the best that you can do. The fact that you're in there, you're grinding, you're doing something, that's what real heroes are. And people make the excuses that I don't have enough time, I'm too old, I'm out of shape. It's just excuses. If you want to be good at successful in anything, you go through those challenges. And I won't lie, you've had bigger challenges than many other people have because your body does not recover like it does when you're 14, 16, 5 years old. It takes a little longer to do this. So this was something that was not easy. And to me, that's what real hero is about, bravery too. And so why do you do it now? You're a black belt now. Why do you continue to train?
Because it's a way of life for me. I mean, I love it. I love the people. I feel good when the conditioning, and I learn something new every day, and I think it really helps, being my age, to keep my mind active. You have to think. And so I just can't imagine my life not doing it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. What are the next steps from here? So right now, this is 2019. You've gotten this level of martial arts. I mean, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? I mean, do you want to continue the training, continue working? Where do you see yourself?
Well, I'm continuing working. I love to work. I'm not as much, but I love training. I love the Tiger Rock family. And I am looking forward to more and more time with my family, my grandchildren, and I'm going to have a great-grandchild, so that's the goal.
You have one great-grandchild already, right? And then you're going to have another one. So so how many? So you have 4 kids. How many grandkids total?
8.
8, and then you have one great-grandkid here, and then you'll have another one on the way.
Yes.
Wow, that is crazy. I just want to wrap this up and kind of go through a couple things here. The neat thing that you can hear, this is a story. Everybody goes through challenges and they think they can't get past whatever challenges. My goal by interviewing you is to understand that it doesn't matter the age you are, whether you're 5, 50, 55, or 72 years old, that we all have challenges, we all have struggles, we all have different things in our life, and you're going to keep having those things. But going through those challenges makes us who we are. If you have one message before we wrap this up to send everybody, what would you give everybody? If somebody said, what was the one piece of advice you'd have, what would you have for everybody listening today?
I would just say that there's no guarantees in life, and life is a challenge. And regardless if you're going through a hard time or not, you're going to get through it. You're going to come out the other side. And there's more blessings in life than anything.
That is awesome, awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for doing this interview. I want to thank you. Thank you for listening through the whole thing. This is something I love to do, something I want to make a difference in the lives of other people, and nobody but my mom to have this house. So thank you so much, Mom. I'll give you a quick hug. Love you so much.
I love you.
We'll look forward to seeing you on the next show.